From Studio B, this is WGALA Brainbusters. Now, here's your host, Rich Rosen.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome once again to WGALA Brainbusters. We are thrilled to have you join us for this competitive face-off between these two formidable teams. Cedar Crest and Annville both performed brilliantly in round one, and now they face each other. But only one team will receive the golden ticket to round three. Who will it be? Well, let's start finding out now, because here comes today's opening round. 10-point questions, a perfect way to get into this intellectual game slowly and smoothly. Pick up those signaling buttons. Let's use them frequently, beginning now with this 10-point question. It occurs when a voting district's lines are rearranged to favor gerrymandering to favor a particular party or group. The practice of political manipulation is called gerrymandering. They were first found in 1856 near Dusseldorf, Germany, in the valley of the Neander River, known colloquially as cavemen. What were these, Daniel?
Neanderthals.
Neanderthals were these hominid fossils. Yes, 10 points for you. It's an involuntary spasm of the respiratory organs ending
Hiccup.
A hiccup ending in a sudden closure of the glottis with a characteristic sound. Good anticipation. The most valuable ones are called pigeon blood because of their dark red color. What are these gemstones, Daniel?
Rubies?
They are rubies, yes. The sign of 90 degrees is 1. What is the sign of 30 degrees? Visette.
1/2.
1/2 is correct. Good for you. It's the number of ways the number 7 can be thrown with a pair of dice. How many is that, Max?
6.
6 is correct, yes. This painting has been cut down on all sides, especially on the left where two figures have been completely lost. It was allowed to become so dirty that it became known by a completely misleading title. What is this Rembrandt painting?
The Night Watch.
The Night Watch is actually a daytime scene, but you're correct. It controls quiet breathing, but also contracts during shouting and deep breathing. What is this muscular structure, Alec?
Diaphragm.
The diaphragm is in the lower abdomen, yes. Edward Everett Hale wrote a story about a man who was granted his wish to never hear of the United States again. What was the title of this work? Visette?
The Man Without a Country.
Correct, yes. An omnivore will eat anything. What more restricted diet does a gramivore eat? Max?
Grain.
Nope, not great, sorry. We stumped you on grass, horses, cattle, geese, guinea pigs, hippopotamus, and giant pandas. For example, he is said to have ridden to the seventh heaven on Al-Barak, a horse with the face of a woman and the wings of an eagle. What religious leader is this? Read. Muhammad, yes. Fought between 1616 and 1646. This war marked the height of Swedish power. What war was it?
The 30 Years' War?
It was the 30 Years' War, yes. Its chief exports include wine, olive oil, citrus fruit, Vinay.
Italy?
Oh, no, sorry. And Napoleon. Alec.
France.
No, sorry, the island in the Mediterranean is Corsica. And physics. It is the time rate of doing work. In other words, it's the amount of work divided by Vinay.
Power?
Power, yes, by the time it takes to do it, the physical concept is indeed power. It's an optical phenomenon that creates illusion of water or distant objects caused by the distortion. Daniel?
Mirage?
A mirage, the aversion of light rays through alternate layers of hot and cool air. Good for you. Then all collapsed and the great shroud of the sea rolled on as it rolled 5,000 years ago. What 1851 novel ends with this line? Daniel again.
Never mind.
Oh, sorry. What's that?
Vanity Fair.
No, sorry, it's Moby Dick. Good guess though. Goya's Naked Maha, Bosch's Garden of Earthly Delights, and The Maids of Honor by Velázquez. Visette?
Triptych?
No, sorry. Are all in the National Spanish Museum of Painting and Sculpture. What is this Madrid museum called, Annville Cleona? Max?
El Bellagio?
No, sorry. If you go to Madrid, you're going to visit the Prado on the Paseo del Prado. Of the 27 amendments to the Constitution, which one limits a president to 2 terms or a period not to exceed 10 terms? Which amendment is 10 years? Which amendment is this? And that's Alec.
8th Amendment.
Nope, sorry. What's that?
22nd Amendment.
It is the 22nd, yes. He published his first novel, Poor Folk, in 1846. His last, published in 1879, was The Brothers Karamazov. Vasset again.
Dostoevsky.
Fyodor Dostoevsky is the Russian author. With that correct answer, that sound takes us to the end of the round, gives us a chance to catch our breath. What a game. We promised you it's 100-50, but we still have a lot more questions and answers coming up, including the one-on-one rapid fire and team lightning rounds. Our intellectual journey on WGAL8 Brainbusters continues following this.
WGAL8 Brainbusters will return after this. The final 4 teams in the WGAL8 Brainbusters tournament will win cash grants. The 3rd and 4th place teams will receive $1,000 each. The 2nd place team will receive $3,000. And the WGAL8 Brainbusters champions will receive $5,000 in grant money. Now, here's Rich with our coaches and alternates.
Wasn't that first round fun? You can tell that these players do not make many errors. That's because they have good coaches, such as this young man here, Shane Thomas.
Young!
Well, younger than I.
Okay, fair.
He's a math teacher, and he's also the gifted support teacher over at Cedar Crest, and it's great to have you here. And here's a question that it doesn't... Life has changed in education for all of us too, because technology has invaded our lives, but certainly in education too. So has it made your life easier or more challenging?
Well, I mean, I can understand for some people that there are additional challenges, but I prefer to, focus on the positive. With the online management systems and, shameless plug for my YouTube channel here, we now have a situation where, when kids are out of class, they can just go to the management system, hop on, see what we did that day, go right out, find videos that explain everything that we did, versus early in my teaching career when, the kid just showed up to class the next day and was like, hey, what did I miss?
I didn't take my textbook home.
Yeah.
And also parents have more access to their
Oh,
grades
absolutely,
and more
absolutely.
access to you, and there's more communication. So there are some benefits.
And there are some really nice, to throw it into this environment, there are some really nice online platforms that help students get better at Quiz Bowl.
I think the drawback is keeping the young people off of their cell phones, and some schools are actually eliminating cell phone use completely from school. We'll see what happens over the next few years. Let's head over to Annville, Cleona, and say hello to our new coach, although not new anymore this season, Kim Mowen. You are family and consumer science teacher
That's
there.
correct.
And thanks for putting together such a great team. A little slow start, but not too slow. They're just going to get warmed up. But it's always curious to ask, a lot of things happen, 180 days in a school year.
Mm-hmm.
What's one of the most outrageous things that has happened to you?
So as part of my Building Consumer Science curriculum, part of that is consumerism and personal finance. So I give my students Mowen money for each day that they're in class. And I had a student who was absent for 2 days in the pay period. And so he got his paycheck and it was less than his classmates. And he was like, why is this? Like, because you were absent. And he felt that it was because I discriminated against him for completely absurd reasons. And so he sued me for Mowen money. And during my study hall at the end of the day, we had a trial in which I had classmates as jurors, and he had one of his peers be his lawyer, and I defended myself, and we had a trial whether or not I discriminated against him for these absurd claims.
And are you guilty or not guilty?
I'm innocent.
You're innocent?
Yes.
And that's why you're still here.
Yes.
Thankfully. All right, let's meet our two alternates. First, Theodore Fraley, you're a senior. Great to have you back. A lot of times, I think guys in particular are a little hesitant to try the musical, but you did it, and now you've totally embraced it.
Yes, with a lot of programs that I've been in the school, I was peer pressured by my friends to join the musical, and it's become an amazing experience for me. It's where I've met the most friends, most people that I would have never had the opportunity to meet, such as a lot of last year's seniors who I ended up becoming close friends with. And ultimately, it's just, like I said, been an amazing experience.
And now you have the lead in this year's musical.
Yes, thankfully.
It's such a teamwork, and it's like this TV show. It's a machine that works, and it's thanks to everybody all put together.
Absolutely.
I get it. And now let's say hello to Xavier Timmy, sophomore. You have a favorite movie. I love this movie.
Chinatown, the 1974 film directed by Roman Polanski.
Now, you weren't even born in 1974, so how did you learn about this movie?
During COVID, I got really big into movies, and I don't know, it was like the standard Marvel stuff that I was watching, and I came across the film, and it was kind of unlike anything I'd ever seen. I never felt, like helplessness or nothing could go right at the end of the movie with, its lines similar to something like "There's nothing you can do about it," something along those lines. And I'd never really felt anything like that in a film, and it really moved me.
I get it. All right, good for you. Well, thanks a lot. Thanks for enlightening us. All right, guys, it's time now to get back in this game and play today's one-on-one rapid fire. Gives us a chance to talk to our players and find out what's going on in their very busy lives. So first, let's say hello to Vinay Saraya. You are a senior. Great to have you here. Now, I'm just so amazed that you can stand on your hands, but before the show, Reed was telling me that you could actually walk entire circles around this room.
Yeah, I probably could. In this outfit, it could stop me, but I could try.
Now, can you actually get on to standing on your hands, like without putting your legs on your elbows first? Like you can just go right up and stand up?
I can. I can even start in a
Very
L-sit
impressive.
position.
Can you do cartwheels as well?
Yes, I'm
I've
pretty
always
advanced
been
at
envious of
cartwheels.
people that can do it. I know that wasn't very academic, but it's so fascinating. All right, thanks a lot for being here. Now let's say hello to Max Lidka. And he's a senior from Annville, Cleona. It's great to have you back. And you were reluctant to try a certain sport, and then you ended up trying it, and now you love it?
Sure, yeah. I was never very involved in sports or athletics throughout my elementary or middle school. But at the beginning of high school, I needed to play a sport for one gym credit I was taking, and I decided to play tennis. And since then, it's been one of my most valuable extracurricular commitments, and it's been something I've really enjoyed ever since.
It's quite a sophisticated sport. Do you watch tennis on TV?
I do, yeah.
You can appreciate it. Boy, the effort it takes, no doubt. A 3-hour game or something would be amazing. All right, well, we're not going to keep you 3 hours. Just 3 questions for Max and Vinay as we put you two one-on-one. The headline, January 2024. Peregrine malfunctions. Peregrine was expected to reach its destination on February 23rd. Where was it headed? We stumped you on the moon. It's a lunar lander that burned over the Pacific on January 18th, 2024. It's one of the country's busiest highways and passes through more states than any other interstate. What road extends from Maine to Florida? Vinay.
Turnpike.
Nope, sorry. Maine to Florida, Max. You have any idea?
I-9?
Can you butcher?
I-9?
No, it's I-95, the famous I-95. And finally, the poet Dylan Thomas was born in Swansea, in this part of the United Kingdom. What is this country in southwest Great Britain with Cardiff as its capital? Vinay?
Wales.
Wales is correct. Good for you. 110 to 50. Now let's meet our two captains first. It's a pleasure to welcome back Reed Fretz from Cedar Crest. And you're a senior. You've been here before. And you already know, well, you're getting ready to go to school, I know, and you know what you want to major in. And I think this is such an important area to study. And thank you for taking it on. Tell us about this.
So I'm planning on majoring in environmental science or sustainable energy management in college. It's just something I've been passionate about my entire life, and I think there's probably no more important industry that you could go into than the one saving the world right now.
Protecting the world and human health, no doubt about
exactly.
it. Well, thank you for that. Appreciate it. Daniel Balsbeck is a senior and the captain of the team from Annville, Cleona, and it's great to welcome you back. And we all hold certain things that are valuable to us, but I'm so impressed that you hold a musical instrument as one of your most valuable items.
Yeah, so a few Christmases ago, my parents gave me a Bach trumpet, and I started playing trumpet in 4th grade on, it was a good horn, but it wasn't the best horn. But the trumpet I have now is beautiful, and I get amazing tone out of it, and it's one of my favorite things that I've ever had.
So you're saying Bach is a particular brand that
Yes.
stands out as one of the best?
Yeah, it's Vincent Bach is the full name of the company. They make a variety of brass instruments.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for sharing. Thanks for enlightening us. I'm going to enlighten you two now with 3 questions as we put Reed and Daniel one-on-one. He appeared in several movies, including Anchors Away and The Manchurian Candidate. He recorded well-known songs such as My Way and Strangers in the Night. Reed.
Frank Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra is affectionately known as Old Blue Eyes. Popular Science magazine named it in 2022 the Innovation of the Year in Aerospace Technology. What is the name of NASA's newest space telescope? Daniel.
James Webb.
James Webb Space Telescope. Good for you for 10 points. And finally, he still holds the records for the Kentucky Derby and the Belmont Stakes, both set in 1973, the year he won the Triple Crown. Who was this great horse? Reed.
Secretariat.
Yes, good for you for 10 points. 130 to 60. Let's now meet our third players in today's competition. So first, a pleasure to welcome back Viset Mang Jr. Did really well in that first round of play, and it's nice to welcome you back. But you're somewhat of an expert on competition. Last time we talked about spelling bee. Here we are on TV with WGAL8 Brainbusters. But you've also competed at the state level in sports.
Yes, so I've been a part of the cross-country team for the last 2 years, and actually I ended up qualifying for states in cross-country individually last year. And then on the spring sports, I'm on the tennis team, and our team qualified for states the last 2 years. So I'm just really happy to have that my teammates just pushing me to do my best.
It just feels good, but the commitment that you have to make, and you're still doing well in school, and you're still preparing for Quiz Bowl. Good to have you here. Alec Tetzloff is a senior. It's great to have you back. Thanks for being here. So I'm so excited for you because when you graduate, which is just a few months away, you're off to a great school and you already know what you want to study. I'd love if you'd share it with everybody.
Yeah, I have accepted Pitt's offer to have me for psychology, and I plan on thereafter going into med school for psychiatry.
And you'll continue there at Pitt, do you think?
Yes, yeah.
It's a great medical school, no doubt about it. They're lucky to have a student like you. Alec and Viset, hopefully you're lucky to have these three questions as we put you two one-on-one. Einstein's special theory of relativity is about light, time, mass, and energy. What is the general theory of relativity about? What's about gravity? Abigail Adams was the wife of one president and the mother of another. What is the first and last name?
John Adams.
No, sorry. I'm going to complete the question for Alec. What is the first and last name of the other woman to have been both a wife and mother of presidents? Can you buzz?
Mary Custis.
No, sorry. Barbara Bush. And finally, the Outer Banks of this state include Oracoke, Viset,
North Carolina.
North Carolina, Oracoke Island, Roanoke Island, and the Hatteras, the Atlantic Coast state, is North Carolina. 140 to 60. Still a strong lead for Cedar Crest, but everything can change now with the 60-second team lightning round. Daniel, you will select first among these three quizzes. Turn of the century movies, Super Tooper, and Ing's the Thing.
We do Ing's the Thing. Turn of the century.
Do we do it? Whatever you want to do.
Ing's the Thing. Please.
Your performance on this quiz may be outstanding or perhaps disappointing. It all depends on identifying these people, places, and things whose names all end in ing. Daniel, I take your answer as the team's answer. Max and Alec are ready to help you along. 60 seconds on the clock, which will begin after I finish reading the first question. Here we go. The capital of China.
Beijing.
Correct. Billie Jean, Larry, Stephen, Martin Luther.
King.
King, correct. It's the B in ABC, NBC, and CBS.
Broadcasting.
Correct. A Norseman of the 10th century.
Viking.
Correct. What Soren and Gollum are after and Frodo wants to get rid of.
Ring.
Ring, yes. In Hans Christian Andersen's story, a swan is an ugly one.
Duckling.
Duckling, yes. A kind of bikini, a kind of bean, a kind of quartet.
String.
String, yes. It involves competition with epee, foil, and saber.
Fencing.
Fencing, yes. Expensive ostentation, clothing or jewelry, or a song by Drake, Hotline.
Bling.
Bling, yes. He wrote Kim, The Jungle Book, and the Just So stories.
Kipling.
Correct. The only U.S. state that fits this category is last alphabetically.
Wyoming.
Wyoming, yes. The only U.S. president to fit this category.
Pass.
Harding, the Chinese dynasty, lasted from 1368 to 1644. Ming, yes. It's caused by oxygen deprivation, not by a lack of sleep.
Pass.
Yawning, the adjective that describes Spider-Man and the blank race.
Amazing.
Amazing, yes. The Chinese book of divination, the book of changes.
Pass.
I Ching, the penal institution, is near Austin, New York, and that was Sing Sing. Well done. 13 correct. 130 points came your way. All right, Reed, it's up to you now. We have those two remaining quizzes of turn of the century movies, or Super Tooper.
We'll go with Super Tooper.
Super Tooper, each of the following answers ends in P-E-R. And they each have two meanings per answer. So for 10 perfectly super points, provide these persons, places, and things. Reed, I take your answer as the team's answer. Vinay and Viset are ready to help you along. 60 seconds on the clock, which will begin after I finish reading the first question. And good luck. Here we go. A city in Wyoming, or a friendly ghost?
Casper.
Casper, yes. A sailing ship, or a member of an NBA team from Los Angeles?
Clipper.
Clipper is correct. A wide, flat fin on a dolphin, or a famous dolphin?
Flipper.
Flipper, yes. A big lie, or a big burger at Burger King?
Whopper.
Whopper, yes. One who applauds, or the tongue of a bell?
Clapper.
Clapper is correct. A reddish metal used for pennies or a slang word for
Copper.
policemen. Copper, yes. A heavy cleaver or a traffic helicopter.
Chopper.
Chopper, yes. To hinder, hobble, or obstruct, or a place to put your dirty clothes.
Hamper.
Hamper, yes. Firmer, fresher, or a refrigerator drawer to keep your vegetables firmer and fresher.
Pass.
Crisper, to indulge, coddle, and gratify, or a disposable diaper.
Pass.
Pamper, a poisonous snake, or a fancy Dodge sports car. Viper, yes. A warm-up exercise in baseball, or a spicy black condiment.
Pepper.
Pepper, yes. More moist, or a device in a piano to deaden the vibrations of the strings.
Damper.
Damper, yes. A playful leap or hop or an illegal activity, especially a robbery, is called a caper. 11 correct. So 110 points came your way. 250 to 190. It's time now to reveal today's bonus Brainbuster category. During our break, our teams will wager 0 to 25 points based on their knowledge of royal families. So we'll have the bonus Brainbuster and, of course, the all-important Final Frenzy when WGAL8 Brainbusters continues after this. Back. It's time now for today's bonus Brainbuster. During our break, our teams wagered 0 to 25 points based on their knowledge of royal families. Let's head into the News 8 newsroom with Michael Fuller. He has today's question. Michael, welcome back.
Thanks, Rich. Now here's your bonus Brainbuster. January 14th is the anniversary of her succession after the death of her father, King Frederick IX. Queen Margaret II announced that at the end of 2023, she planned to step down, turning the largely ceremonial monarchy over to her son, Crown Prince Frederick, after 52 years on the throne. In what country? Again, January 14th is the anniversary of her succession after the death of her father, King Frederick IX. Queen Margaret II announced that at the end of 2023, she planned to step down, turning the largely ceremonial monarchy over to her son, Crown Prince Frederick, after 52 years on the throne. In what country? Good luck with your answer. Now back to Studio B. Rich?
Michael, good luck, teams. We'll give you about 5 seconds. I think Daniel is still consulting with his teammates. Reed wrote his question down almost immediately. Okay, pen is closed. All right, Reed, we always start with this side of the set. If you'll kindly show us. And you wrote down Denmark, and you are absolutely correct. It is Denmark. So we're adding 10 points to your score. Daniel, did you put Denmark? You put Denmark, good, and 20 points added to your score. Okay, so we have 260 to 210. It's still anybody's game, but now it's time for today's Final Frenzy 20-point questions. Becky Sharp is the calculating heroine of William Makepeace Thackeray's most famous novel.
Vanity Fair.
Vanity Fair. Now it's time for Vanity Fair. Yes, the driest U.S. state has an average annual rainfall of less than 7 inches. That's because most of the state is an uninhabited sagebrush-covered desert. What is the sagebrush state?
Montana?
No, sorry. Incorrect.
Arizona.
Nevada is the correct answer. In 1933, Judge John Woolsey said it was brilliant and dull, unintelligible and obscure, but not obscene. What novel by James Joyce could finally be imported? Daniel?
Ulysses?
Ulysses, yes. In England in the 1960s, it was the party which supported the power of Parliament over the king. In the United States, the name was borrowed. Max?
Loyalists.
No, not the Loyalists, sorry. The name was borrowed by the opponents of King Andrew Jackson. What party was it, Cedar Crest? It was the Whigs. It's the capital of the autonomous region of Navarre, made famous by Ernest Hemingway's The Sun Also Rises, and of course the Bulls. What Spanish city is it? Today.
Pamplona.
Pamplona is correct. Rudolph Evans sculpted the 19-foot statue of this U.S. president standing in a domed white marble building on the tidal basin. Bissett.
Lincoln?
No, not he. Sorry. Whose memorial is it, Daniel?
Jefferson.
It's Thomas Jefferson. They're not really as bright as dawn, but they take their names from the Greek goddess of the dawn. What are these shimmering polar lights?
Aurora.
Pardon me?
Aurora.
Yes, you are correct. U.S. Route 20 is the longest road in the United States. Lombard Street is known as the crookedest street in the world. In what U.S. city is it located, Reed?
San Francisco.
San Francisco. It is the official timekeeper of the United States. It has 4 different clocks that are kept within 5 millionths of a second of one another. What is the center in Washington, D.C.? It's the Naval Observatory. Beowulf comes to the halls of Hrothgar to battle a monster with the wrath of God on his back. What monster does Beowulf defeat? Basset.
Grendel.
Grendel, of course. In the Bible, it was 21.8 inches. For the Greeks, 18.3 inches. For the Romans, Basset again.
A cubit.
Cubit is the measurement used to build Noah's Ark. Yes. In the year 1054, a distant star went supernova, and for a time was so brilliant it could be seen on Earth in daylight. What nebula was created by the supernova, Max?
Crab.
Crab Nebula. Yes, the Hornets are the NBA team from Charlotte, North Carolina. What's the name of Charlotte's WNBA team? Next again.
Sting.
Sting is correct. It was the disease for which Edward Jenner created the first vaccine in 1796. In 1980, the World Health Organization announced that it had been completely eradicated, and that, of course, was smallpox. Wow, I couldn't go any faster. What a game. Congratulations, Cedar Crest. We're going to see them in round 3. We hope to see you in just a few short moments.
Scorekeeping for WGAL8 Brainbusters, presented by Jennings College Consulting, where students discover the right college fit for the future. We'll return after this. Welcome back to WGAL8 Brainbusters, the Susquehanna Valley's longest-running high school quiz show. Once again, here's your host, Rich Rosen.
Wow. What a game. Congratulations, Cedar Crest. That was a tremendous game. We didn't know who was going to come back for round 3, but it turns out they are triumphant and they are going to return for round 3. A fond farewell to you. Thank you for being such spirited participators. We'll hopefully see your team next season. Coming up, we start round 3 with Hempfield and Mechanicsburg, and that's going to be a great game. We hope to see you then. Thanks for joining us. So long, everybody. Make it a great day. I'm just...